Before we start today's show, I have something to say that's very important, very personal, and not easy to say. I wanted to tell you, my viewers, first, but unfortunately it wasn't possible. You may have heard about this already. It's true, I've had breast implants for several years. They were silicone and they ruptured. There's a lot more to the story, and I've chosen to tell it to People magazine, and it's going to appear in the upcoming issue. Then on Thursday, February 27th, on this show, you'll hear directly from me how I got into this situation and exactly what happened. We'll be doing a special hour on the breast implant controversy. So with that said, I thank you for listening and invite you to stay with me for today's Jenny Jones.
Today on Jenny Jones, 3 of America's most notorious madams. Meet the Rolodex madam just out of prison, another who runs an illegal brothel in Minnesota, plus the owner of the famous Cottontail Ranch in Nevada.
A legal bordello makes for happier marriages.
And now, here she is, Jenny Jones.
There have been many famous madams in history. Madame Curie, Madame Butterfly, Wayland Flowers and Madame. But there are also many infamous madams, and you're about to meet 3 of them today, including a woman who served 2 years in prison and a woman who runs an illegal brothel but doesn't care who knows it. First, a woman who's been in the business for over 30 years. She started by operating a call girl service in Hollywood but got tired of being busted all the time. So she decided to go legit and opened a legal bordello in Nevada. That was 25 years ago, and the Cottontail Ranch has been hopping ever since. Hopping, get it, ever since. This is Beverly Harrell. Welcome to the show. You know, Beverly, as young girls, we all have different dreams and aspirations, but is this something you ever thought you would get into when you were growing up?
Well, when I was working in New York a number of years ago, I used to work in a nightclub taking pictures of, you know, somebody's husband out with somebody else's wife. And I said, gee, here are all these girls, professional hookers, running around, getting paid. They're sure making a lot of money, but they were sort of going helter-skelter. And one night I was working, and all of a sudden there was a big applause in this particular nightclub I was working. And they just, even the waiters applauded, everybody stood up, and some little tiny woman walked in. So I asked one of the waiters, I said, who is that little woman? He said, don't you know who that is? That's Polly Adler. Well, she got such a standing ovation. I said, if a madam can be that loved and that well-respected, I should think about it. So I decided to go out west, like Horace Greeley said, and I did. I went out to California. I was in show business. That didn't work too well.
What did you do in show business?
I was a dancer and an actress. Mm-hmm. And so then I saw all these young ladies running around, and they really needed a manager. And being I have managerial qualities, perhaps it's my ethnic culture, I don't know. So anyhow, I became a madam, and I became quite successful at it. But I was spending all my money on bail bondsmen and attorneys. So I said, well, why don't I go where prostitution is legal? So on October 13th, 1967, I opened the Cottontail Ranch in Nevada, which is on Highway 95, which is a major highway that runs north and south.
Get your pencils. Get your pencils.
266, open 24 hours a day, and we have anywhere from 10 to 14 girls. We have a bar there. It's out in the middle of the desert. There's nothing around but sagebrush, scotch, sex, and the girls.
Well, let me ask you something. Usually they say that people, oh, the men are, all right. Usually when people are going to manage, they are to work their way up to the top, because they say you can't manage until you've done all the other jobs. So you just...
Well,
you know,
I had better qualifications for managerial qualities, let's say.
Would we call that an answer to my question? But we can, you have, yeah, you can ask, maybe you can get that answered, yeah.
I've always heard that that's one profession you never start at the bottom at, you start at the top.
Well, it depends on what side you get up on.
Yeah.
Okay. Give us, if you would, let's say I'm a male customer and I walk in the door. Just give us a description.
Okay,
What am I
what
going to see?
happens-
What happens to me?
As I said, the ranch is out in the middle of nowhere. I have my own airport. It's 164 miles north of Las
How did
Vegas.
you get your own airport?
I have my own airport for those that like to fly in and become members of the Mile High Club.
A runway and then...
We'll get to that later. We'll get to that later. Anyhow,
Wait a minute. What's the
Mile High?
Yeah.
Well, those are people that own planes. They land at the airport, and they come in and pick a young lady, and the young lady goes up in the plane with them, and they do their little thing, but you have to be a mile high, and then she and he become members of the Mile High Club. You haven't lived till you tried it.
Okay,
Anyhow, a gentleman comes to the front door. He pulls his car in, and he'll ring the bell, and one of the maids will open the door. I may be behind the bar or one of the bartenders, and he'll come in and either order, a beer or drink or perhaps a cup of coffee, what have you. And then the maid or I will say, young ladies, we have company. And then out will come the little fillies, and they'll all line up. And the gentlemen will look at them. Some are tall, some are short, some are fat, some are skinny, some are pretty, some are ugly. So there's someone for everybody.
It's like a lineup?
Yeah, it's a lineup, just like a bunch of little fillies, so he can see what he's getting, Jenny.
How do you find these girls?
They find me. The Cottontail's been there a number of years, So being it's a legal bordello, they know where to look. Anyhow, the man picks the young lady. She may join him at the bar and sit and chit-chat with him. Then she'll take him by the hand and take him on a tour inspection, show him the spa, the VIP room, and, they will go in there. They will discuss remuneration, whims, time. Then she will come out, check her money in, and she will go in the bedroom and have a wonderful time.
Oh, so she's paid up front, you're saying?
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm.
And she...
Diddle first, no good. Pay first, diddle second. House rules.
Are there certain girls certain types that are more popular?
It depends. A lot of people are really under the misconception that all men want a magnificently beautiful young lady with a fantastic body. Not so. There are some men that want someone to talk to. So my girls have to be part-time psychologists as well as being good in bed and being able perhaps to do things for him that perhaps he cannot get at home because of wife's upbringing or religious beliefs or what have you, or she's ill, or the babies are sick. So, we're sort of an important thing in everyday living. Sometimes you don't want to face the facts of life. A legal bordello makes for happier marriages.
Oh, so... Who's married? Huh? No, what do you want? Go ahead, you can say. What do you want to say?
Are there any requirements for these women that you hire?
Requirements, the requirements aren't as important as you think. The young ladies will come there. I have to talk to them. As I say, it doesn't really matter what they look like. It's what's
Do you
inside.
teach them things to do?
Oh, yes, I have classes. Mm-hmm.
What?
Verbal classes. I'll tell you why.
Oh, you want to sign up? Who said? Oh, okay.
You know why I have verbal classes? Because if a man is coming to a legal bordello and he is paying money for services, he should certainly be getting his money's worth. I mean, he doesn't want to come in and get the same thing he gets at home because his wife perhaps may have not had an education sexually, which is unfortunately the case in the United States.
What
that
are you
most
laughing
women,
at? Wait a minute.
Most women have not been taught
Come here.
about love.
Could you say?
Can you send the wives there? Or?
That
Just for the
happens
lessons.
sometimes, yes.
Wait a minute. We have to take a break. Take a break. When we come back, a woman who actually started as a prostitute and liked the business so much, she bought the company. Still ahead, we'll meet the woman that authorities called the Rolodex Madam.
Hi, I'm Denise Anderson. Anderson of Sears Brand Central. And now that you've made us America's #1 appliance and electronics superstore, we're celebrating with our once-a-year birthday bash.
Save on this large capacity Kenmore washer, only $247. Matching dryer, only $197. Both at their lowest prices ever. And our 7M Kenmore upright vacuum with onboard tools is just $79.99. And there's much more.
So hurry to Brand Central, where you can always count on great values. And you can count on me.
No better way to face the day.
The morning belongs to Lady Speed Stick. It provides maximum all-day protection against wetness and odor. Lady Speed Stick glides on smooth and dry and helps keep you feeling fresh and confident all day long.
No better way to face the day. No better way to face the day.
Protects you like a man, treats you like a woman.
Mighty Dog presents Bandit. Pound for pound, he uses up more energy than most dogs twice his size. That's why we make Mighty Dog, with a perfect balance of nutrients. It does big things for little dogs.
Some things you just can't be sure of, like blind dates. But when I want to feel naturally fresh, I trust Massengill Vinegar and Water Douche with natural ingredients. I love that fresh, clean feeling.
Trust Massengill.
If you're tired of hunting for your vacuum cleaner's attachments, get the new Dirt Devil Upright. It's lightweight, easy to use, and all the attachments are built right into the vacuum. So you can clean everything from floor to ceiling and edge to edge without stopping to find a thing. And because it's a Dirt Devil, it's packed with plenty of cleaning power. So stop hunting for your attachments. Get the new Dirt Devil Upright, the all-in-one cleaner that cleans it all.
Well, we're back talking about madams today, and I think what surprised me the most is, and I wanted to talk about that next, is you saying that most of the customers are married men?
Most of them are married, but you see, they come to a legal bordello because it's an impersonal service. They can go home to their wives, their family. There's no divorce. It's a service. But if that gentleman goes to the next door neighbor, you have a divorce.
There's
you see,
emotional
it's just
involvement.
a service. We send him home in better shape than when he left, honestly.
All right, yeah, what do you want to say?
I have a real problem with that. I mean, I think that in a marriage, I'd like to know what happened to love and learning together and working together and building a marriage on love and respect and understanding and working together, not going to a prostitute to take classes, to learn how to please your mate. You should be able to talk about that together because you love each other.
Okay.
Unfortunately, there are some people that are married, have families, and have no communication. Doesn't matter what they do. I think if the people in the outside world there were to realize that legal bordellos do help your marriages a great deal, doesn't mean your husband doesn't love you. Men are born polygamists, and as soon as we women realize that, live with it, it doesn't make him a bad boy. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You don't disrupt
Let me ask the men in the audience, is that true? Are you all born polygamists, men? You're saying yes, and you say no? Go ahead. Stand up. Are you married man?
No, I'm not married, but
then you can.
If you were married,
different question. But anyway, as far as that's concerned, no, I'm a one-woman man myself.
Right, if you were married, you would not.
I think if you take your vows, you take your vows, whether it's religious vows in a church or synagogue or whatever, or even City Hall, those are vows.
I'm afraid I don't go along with that too well because there are great
because the men you're getting are
the men
obviously
I'm getting are the same men that are sitting here in Chicago. They're no different here than they are in Nevada.
All right, well let me find one that'll admit it. Find a man that says, well, wait a minute. Now look at this guy here.
No, they won't admit it, Jenny.
Come here for a second. All right, now stand up. Now what do you have to say?
Well, I think she's got a valid point. You have to take into consideration the kind of guys that go to these places, and I think, they both have a valid point. If you're a one-woman guy, if you're going to concentrate on making your marriage better, you're not going to be going to these places. But if you're not a one-woman guy and you want to work at being a one-woman guy, it might help to go.
Just because you go to a legal bordello does not make you unfaithful to your wife. You are returning home. I think your
Not
standards
everybody's going
are
to
wrong.
agree with you on that. That's, you know, that's, yeah.
They do underneath it all.
Well, let me continue on here. We will proceed with this. It's a little easier to accept actually being a madam when it's done legally in Nevada, but what's it like to be a madam when it's illegal? My next guest runs a house of prostitution in Minnesota. She has no qualms about discussing it because she says it's important to convince the world that her business should be treated like any other business. This is Rebecca Rand. Welcome, Rebecca. Before we continue about your feeling about that, do you think, first of all, are most customers married men as far as you're concerned?
Yes. Most men, our customers are basically between 30 and 60, and a lot of that has to do with economics. You need
They're the ones that can afford the service.
Right, you need a certain disposable income to be able to see prostitutes. It's, no, it doesn't cost $5 or $10, so you need a certain amount of money.
What does
so
it
most
cost?
of our
What does
customers
it cost?
are 30
What does it cost?
At my places, it costs $80 or $95, depending on which attendant you see. There's two. If they're busier, they get raised to $95.
Is this for
just like in a hair
the time?
salon?
Is it for an hour?
When you go in a hair salon, all the beauticians don't charge the same rate. The ones who are busier get to charge more, and we do it the same way.
Do you have the same experience that Beverly was saying, that it's not necessarily the most attractive woman who's the most popular?
Oh, certainly. When someone comes in to apply for a job, if they're reasonably well-groomed and can carry on a conversation, I just put them on staff and see how it works out. I have certain customers who are what I call test customers, guys who can see someone and tell you almost exactly how well she's going to do.
You mean they're like regulars?
Yes.
Steady customers,
Yes.
isn't that so?
Yes.
How, is that, because I was wondering about quality control. I mean, how do you know?
That's it. You talk to your customers, and certain customers' opinions count more than others, because there's certain guys who are just not. They might like some woman.
They come there often, and they will tell the madam the truth. They'll say, hey, she's very good, or she's not so good, you better teach her. The men that come there are really honest with the madams.
How did you start in this, Rebecca?
When I was 24 years old, I got a divorce. I'd had 2 years of college. I could type 30 words a minute. Job prospects were minimal. I started working in a massage parlor where I gave massages for $3 a massage for about 6 months. And the customers would always request sexual services. And I'd say no. I didn't know why I was saying no, but it seemed to be what you were supposed to do. So after about 6 months, I said yes. This guy, who was a plumber, offered me $100. He offered me $100, and he said, it'll only take a minute. And I kept saying no. He goes, come on, it'll take a minute. And so finally I thought, well, how can I get caught in a minute? I need the $100, and so I agreed, and it did not take a minute.
It normally doesn't.
How long did it take?
35 seconds.
That's because they're over anxious.
So then I decided $100 for a minute or $3 for a half-hour massage.
Yeah.
You know, it just didn't add up. And plus, the massage is really hard work. I mean, it's much harder work than sex. Actually, in the sex business, the men usually do most of the work.
Is that?
Yeah, they do. If you make the right noises, it's a very easy job.
You know, I have to ask you this, though. If you're operating in the it's illegal what you're doing, how can you come on this show and talk about it?
Well, the only reason I can do that is I've already been charged with racketeering in Minnesota. I'm the first person ever charged with racketeering in the state of Minnesota, and I'm probably on my way to jail, so at this point, who cares? I might as well tell you all everything I know because it doesn't matter anymore. But I have been in business since 1972. So it took them a while. They're not Sherlock Holmes up there in the Twin Cities.
Well, next we're going to meet a woman who actually served time for running an escort service. She's been out of prison for 7 months, and we're going to hear her story right after this. Still ahead, should we legalize prostitution? Our madams will speak out.
You're not a kid anymore, you must be kidding me. You look 10 years younger than you're supposed to be. You got great muscle tone, bright shining eyes. Drinking milk every day. Well, that's no surprise, 'cause milk tastes delicious. You're not a kid anymore. And I'll tell you what's more. You're not a kid anymore. Milk's good for you. You're not a kid anymore.
Milk, 'cause you're not a kid anymore.
Reserve your seat now for the most exciting fall ever. HBO's 20th anniversary season. HBO's special events, world premieres, world championship boxing. You'll also see over 50 top movies every month. And the most original entertainment on TV. Plus, get all the choice and variety of cable TV. And add Cinemax for the most movies on premium TV. Get installation for $19.95. $5 will be donated to Muscular Dystrophy Association on your behalf. So call now. You'll also get your first month of HBO or Cinemax free. Don't wait. Call now and get the best seats in the house. HBO. It could only happen here.
The League of Women Voters, KIVI Channel 6, and your local McDonald's restaurants have teamed up to make it easier for you to vote. The League of Women Voters will open voter registration booths at participating Treasure Valley McDonald's on September 19th, 1992. The booths will be open from 10 o'clock a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. Plan now to register. Be sure to bring proof of Idaho residence when you come to McDonald's to register. The county registrars will be at Treasure Valley McDonald's to register you.
For every problem, there is a solution.
And you can help.
At Newswatch 6, not all the news is bad. Sometimes we report on a problem, and the solution is you.
Join us in support of Project Earth.
Sometimes we report on a problem, and the solution is already there.
These volunteers are part of a neighborhood accountability board.
And sometimes there is no problem, yet.
So who is looking out for our young people?
Newswatch 6, involved and working for you.
Right after Wheel of Fortune.
Now you have a choice at 6.
You're about to hear a story that's got to be a book or a movie of the week really soon. It's about a woman who ran an escort service in San Diego until she got busted in a sting operation. When the cops searched her apartment, all they found was a Rolodex with 500 names in it. Her story was front page news, and she became known across America as the Rolodex Madam. She's here to tell her story for the first time on national television. Welcome, Carol Wilkening. Karen. I said Carol, but I meant Karen. I'm sorry about that. I think we're curious, before we start even your story, about how you also got into this line of work. Would you tell us how you started?
It fell into my lap. I'd been in business for quite a while in San Diego with very responsible jobs. I have very conservative East Coast background and good education. I was a systems analyst. I had been a real estate agent. But I'd always wanted to own my own business, and through contacts in real estate, I heard that a girl was selling a small business that she had, and an appointment was set for me to meet her. I didn't know what the business was, and I showed up dressed similar to this with a resume, found out she was selling an escort service. It was quite a surprise.
Is an escort service, are we assuming now that that's prostitution also?
Well, 2/3 of the business was legal. Some of the business was actual escort work, and then there was also dancers for bachelor parties. But yes, in effect, what I was buying was partly a call girl service. It was presented to me as very low-key, very conservative, and I believe that the gal who had run it for 12 years knew the clients very well. It was a private service. Mm-hmm. And when I took it over in 1981, I ran it according to my personality, and that was very conservative. I didn't answer the phone after 10 o'clock at night. I never advertised. It was like a private club.
How did you get caught by the police?
Well, I ran it successfully for about 6 years, and I sometimes had to remind myself and the clients and the girls that it was illegal because we all had so much fun. It was one of the most fun things I've ever done. Everybody had a smile on their face. Nobody ever had complaints. A lot of my clients were elderly, and quite a few were handicapped. So in a lot of ways, the girls thought they were doing social work.
Well, let me get back to Karen's story. Now, how did you get caught by the police?
It was an elaborate sting operation after one of my girls, who was foreign, who had married an American sailor for residency. The husband suspected something, actually suspected that she was having an affair, and followed her, and eventually got the truth out of her, got very mad, contacted Vice in San Diego. They'd never heard of me. I have a squeaky clean background. No one knows me on the streets. But he stayed mad, and he turned his wife in, and she got immunity, and she talked about some of the clients in San Diego who were known in San Diego, but not
Did you get
anywhere
arrested?
else. No, actually, they sent about 9 officers with walkie-talkies and guns and so forth to my condominium with a search warrant. And they looked rather disappointed that they didn't find a den of iniquity. It was just a one-bedroom condominium with 3 cats and a Rolodex.
And that's when they found the Rolodex?
Yes, they found the Rolodex, and then all hell broke loose. They didn't arrest me. They didn't even tell me what I expect when you read novels and see on television, don't leave town or anything like that. So eventually I did. They started a inquisition.
You left town?
Yes, I did eventually. They started an inquisition. It took several months, but the Rolodex was passed around inside the police department. There was eventually 3 grand jury investigations as to whether the police sanitized it, whether they took out big names, and that was never fully, explored. They didn't ask me.
How did you wind up going to jail?
They subpoenaed about 80 of my clients,
From the Rolodex.
and then I was arraigned. I was charged with quite a few counts of pimping and pandering, which is a mandatory prison term in California.
How much was your bail?
I was never arrested. In fact, it was an oversight on the police department. I was never booked or fingerprinted or photographed, even when I was arraigned. They just forgot.
They forgot?
I just showed up with my attorney, and
so you wound up spending how long in jail?
Well, that didn't happen yet. I was charged. I pled not guilty, and then they started blanketing San Diego with subpoenas. They were subpoenaing everybody in my Rolodex. These were all the people I knew my entire life. I was 30-something at the time, and I'd had substantial jobs. It was a moral inquisition, and it was giving me a nervous breakdown. I couldn't stand
And
the
when did you leave
prosecution.
town?
I left in September of 1987. I became a fugitive. I borrowed a girlfriend's passport. I wanted to put a stop to the case. They were giving everyone immunity. They got some of my girls. They got some of the clients, elderly men breaking down on the stand.
So where did you go?
I left and went to Southeast Asia, as far away from San Diego as I could get, halfway around the world. And I was a fugitive for 2 years until they found me.
Oh, I want to hear that when we come back. Don't go away. Still ahead, everything you always wanted to know about bordellos but were too shy to ask.
If I had a choice, I wouldn't get them. My second choice, a fast cure. Gyne-Lotrimin starts working fast to help you bring recurring vaginal yeast infections under control quickly. My choice now, Gyne-Lotrimin. Make your choice a fast cure.
We are Flintstones kids.
Flintstones have the vitamins and minerals kids need, plus the great Flintstones taste and fun shapes they love.
Now that's what I call complete.
10 billion strong and growing.
Dad? Is your family trying to tell you something? Yes, Dentine now has more breath-freshening flavor. So brush your breath clean with great-tasting new Dentine.
Fido, Fido. Fetch Fido.
Is your best friend trying to tell you something? Yes, Dentine now has more breath-freshening flavor. So brush your breath clean with great-tasting new Dentine.
This just isn't Maine. This just isn't my kind of love.
Maine to California.
You're kidding me.
People just like you. When thousands win millions out of the blue. Miracles can happen for you.
Holy cow!
Publishers Clearinghouse, the house where dreams come true.
Good morning, birthday girl.
Don't remind me. I hope no one finds out.
It's our secret.
Introducing Pond's Foaming Cleanser and Toner in one. It deep cleans and helps tighten pores to bring out your natural radiance.
And this birthday wish goes out to Deborah Palmer from a secret admirer.
You are so beautiful to me.
Pond's. It brings out your natural radiance.
With Famous Madams, and we've been talking to Karen Wilkening, who spent 2 years in jail for pandering, and you said that they finally tracked you down in the Philippines, right?
They tracked me down through the girl whose passport I had borrowed, and it was a 5-member task force team that showed up using Interpol, the FBI, Naval Intelligence, and the Philippine Immigration Service.
No, that doesn't make, I mean, if it's just a little small company like that, why all this trouble for your tiny little business?
That question still hasn't been fully answered. It's still a mystery. But in San Diego, while I was gone for 2 years, there was a string of unsolved prostitute murders. The Homicide Task Force was not solving them, and they used the Homicide Task Force money to track me down, hoping that I might know some of the girls.
Oh, that you might be able to help solve the murder. Okay.
Yes, I guess they figure that if you're in the service in any level, that you know everybody from the age of 7 on.
Okay, so they got you in the Philippines, they bring you back.
And they put me into San Diego jail, a bail of $4 million. The highest bail ever set for a nonviolent crime, first offense.
$4 million?
Yes. I was in jail in administrative segregation, protective custody, chained and shackled and handcuffed. Every time I was removed from my cell, I was in solitary confinement for 3 months. All of this supposedly to protect my life. They thought that I might have been involved with the police. There was police protecting my service, and it all was a bunch of hogwash.
Does the punishment fit the crime here, audience? I mean,
I eventually pleaded guilty to 1 count of pandering, knowing I was going to prison, but I didn't want to put everybody through a trial. So,
how much money was finally spent in just getting you, and just in this, how much tax money was spent on your
probably
case?
$250,000 to track me down, a 5-member task force, first class. We flew first class, by the way, around the world. I saw 2 movies and had a gourmet meal before I went to jail. But I spent 7 months in San Diego jail, and then I was sentenced to prison, the term of 3 years and 8 months. I served 2 years, and I just paroled. While I was in prison, I was labeled a high-profile case, and because there was continuing grand jury investigations and police corruption in San Diego, and the media sensationalism affected my treatment in prison.
In what way?
They never really knew how to handle me, so they overreacted a lot. I got tons of pen pals that wrote to me supportive letters.
Did you have to share your cell with other people?
Oh, yes. I had quite a few roommates. There were 80 women in my dorm, and we shared a bathroom down the hall. Jail is very different from prison. You can establish a life in prison, and it's quite different depending upon what prison you are in and who's on duty.
Now, Rebecca's sitting here. You just said earlier that you think you're on your way to prison, too?
I hope she never has to go.
Well, probably, yes. I've already been to prison in Minnesota, too. Not for as long. In 1983, I was in prison. In Minnesota is not a real large state, and the women's prison in Minnesota, the entire population of women's prison in Minnesota is 80. And so when you're there, you're like,
now that you're
I'm one of the 80 most dangerous women in Minnesota.
Let me ask the audience a question. At this point, does anybody think it should be, do your keypads. Let's take a poll here. Here's your question. Should prostitution be legalized? Push 1 for yes, 2 for no. I would like to see how this audience feels. About 150 people or so in here. Should prostitution be legalized? Yes or no? Let's see what this audience says. Oh, we're 50-50? 52% said yes. A little bit more than half said yes. What do you think?
Yes, I think so.
You think it should? What?
The reason is, like they said, there's a lot of handicapped people. It's a social service, you know, for those people. There's people, for instance, we have so many social ills in our society, you know, the rape and everything. I think that would cure a lot of that, too, because they'd have a place to go.
Do you agree with that? Would it cut down on rape if we legalized prostitution?
I think it does cut down on street crimes when you have legal bordellos. Also, it cuts down sanitary conditions are more prevalent in a legal bordello.
All right, what were you were saying?
I just said that rape isn't about sex.
It's about violence.
Yeah. So I don't think it would have any power on that.
My type of clients were very conservative, and a lot of them were elderly men. These sometimes were men not even capable of sex. They just enjoyed the company of the girls for a while. And then I had dancers for bachelor parties, too. So, you know, it was an entertainment business.
Are you surprised at the response in the audience, about 50-50? Half the people think it should not be legalized.
I'm not real surprised. I can't think of any possible reason in a supposedly free society why people wouldn't agree that adults have the right to engage in consensual sex in private. That doesn't seem like why there shouldn't be 100% agreeing.
Who said it should not be legalized? I'd like to hear from you. You're not? Okay, what?
I just want to know about all the diseases going around. Are these women or men being tested?
What is the deal, though, with, because everyone is concerned about AIDS, very, very important issue. How do you know everybody's safe?
Well, you know, when they come to a legal bordello, there are over 400 legal prostitutes working in 30-some-odd bordellos in Nevada. Not one prostitute has been processed through the program that has come up positive. Every girl that goes to work in the state of Nevada is checked before she goes to work to see if she is positive or negative.
What about the customers coming in?
The customers are also checked a la Army style. And let me,
What's that?
one other thing
What's that?
I'll tell you about that later. And also, let me say this, in the state of Nevada, it is state mandatory to wear condoms. State mandatory. So that prevents lots.
In the state of Nevada, is it, what if they had surgery and they had a blood transfusion? You don't know.
Well, they're
what if they're hospital worker,
they're
not
wearing
that hospital
condoms. They're wearing condoms.
Are you saying all the customers have to wear condoms?
Absolutely, in the state
also,
of Nevada.
even in Minnesota?
We 7 or 8 years ago just instituted it's a mandatory policy. Previous to the AIDS epidemic, it was up to the woman. It was her choice. And since then, it's like, no, it's not your choice. Everybody's going to do this, and we all stick together. One of the things that a legal, organized brothel can do, and by the way, I live in Minnesota, and my business is not legal, but I have acted for 20 years as if it is. I run it as if it is legal.
You pay taxes?
Yes, I pay taxes since the day I opened it. And one of the things that you can do when you work together in a group is provide for your safety, for the physical safety of the workers and of the men who come in, and you have some control over health issues. When you make it illegal and push people on the streets, then you have
still
no control.
can't check a guy that comes. I want to find out what
put a
this Army
condom on
thing
him.
is, too, when we'll come back and continue this in just a moment. What do men ask for when they visit a prostitute? Stay tuned.
Introducing the new wave in air freshening. Airwick Airwaves, the advanced air freshening system. Turn it on.
Turn it on.
Turn it up.
Turn it up.
Way up.
Way up.
Turn it down.
Turn it down.
Way down.
Way down.
Turn it off. Slip in a refill for freshness that goes on and on. Airwick Airwaves. Electric, refillable, adjustable.
Turn it on. Turn it up.
Turn it down for just the right amount of freshness all around. Completely adjustable Airwick Airwaves, the advanced air freshening system.
Tears of pain, tears of joy. But when your eyes are dry, soothe them with the tears of Murine. Closer to your own tears than other leading eye drops or artificial tears. Murine, natural tears formula.
Country Crock Churn Style? Churn Style. That sweet, buttery taste reminds me of dinner on the farm.
Now try the sweet, buttery taste of Country Crock Churn Style. And save with this coupon in your weekend paper.
Hi, I'm Denise Anderson of Sears Brand Central. And now that you've made us America's #1 appliance and electronics superstore, we're celebrating with our once-a-year birthday bash.
Save on this large capacity Kenmore washer, only $247. Matching dryer, only $197. Both at their lowest prices ever. And our 7M Kenmore upright vacuum with onboard tools is just $79.99. And there's much more.
So So hurry to Brand Central, where you can always count on great values. And you can count on me.
KIVI Channel 6 brings you Community Calendar. Here are some events happening in your community this week.
ESU's University Chorale is looking for new members from the community. Rehearsals are held Tuesdays at 7 p.m. at the Morrison Center. To learn more about joining, call 385-3299. United Way of Ada County will hold its annual Kickoff Breakfast Thursday, September 10th, beginning at 7:30 a.m. at the Red Lion Riverside. For reservations, call 336-1070. The third annual United Way Volunteer Connection Chili Cook-Off will be Saturday, September 12th in Boise's 8th Street Marketplace. Plan to stop by for food, music, and family fun. Voter registration booths will be set up at all area McDonald's locations on Saturday, September 19th from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. All residents aged 18 and over may register.
Beverly Harrell of the Cottontail Ranch in Nevada, Rebecca Rand from Minneapolis, and Karen Wilkening from San Diego, formerly known as the Rolodex Madam. And what did you just say to me on the break? Say it again on the TV here. What did you say?
Jenny, I tell you, I enjoy your program. We listen to it every day. Yeah. And but some of the subjects I only dream about. I only dream about.
Thank you very much. Fantasy show today.
Have him come to the ranch and his fantasies come true.
Now, let me just finish up on this. I had one other question about testing the men. What is the Army thing? Is that something bad? Should I ask that?
No, when you're in the service, when they want to check someone for a venereal disease, the penis is put in the palm of the hand, and the penis is then inspected. It is checked, and that's called Army style.
Go ahead.
I just wondered what the madam's percentage of the client fee was.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that.
What's the madam's percentage of the client fee?
It's normally down the middle.
At
50-50?
At mine, it's the women receive 2/3, the house receives 1/3. Then the larger question is, what do you pay out of that 1/3? We pay everything, including all legal fees, out of that 1/3. We pay everything. The women are responsible for nothing. They take that home, the 2/3.
Okay.
When I ran my business for 6 years, it was $150 an hour. The girls kept $100 plus all the tips. And out of my portion, I paid for an entertainment apartment and all expenses. So I didn't make all that much money. The girls made a lot more money.
Yeah.
Do the girls sign a contract, and are they able to leave anytime they want?
They can leave anytime they want. The door in a legal bordello swings in and out. They are free to leave anytime they want.
The same with everybody?
The same, of course. They can walk out in the middle of the shift, and they often do.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if the madams are ever requested, or do you strictly serve on an administrative level?
All tricks that come to a bordello always want to diddle the madam. I don't know why.
I resent that word. I don't like the word tricks. We never called the gentlemen callers tricks or Johns or anything like that.
What do you call them, dear?
Well, guests.
Yes.
Clients or guests.
I don't like the word either because it implies that they spent their money foolishly, and certainly anyone who spent money in my place
That's a Nevada colloquialism
did not spend it foolishly.
Okay. But what's the right word for, is prostitute okay now?
No,
or,
not
yes,
with me.
not a good word.
Prostitute is
sex
fine.
worker.
In Nevada, it's fine.
Fine
What
with
about,
me
what
because
about the
I
other
hold
state?
a legal house of prostitution license, and that's what it's called.
Rebecca, is it
I feel the
offensive?
word prostitute implies that you are doing something you think is wrong or you shouldn't do in order to make money.
Because it's become
and
a
I'm not
verb,
doing
hasn't
that.
it? When you say people prostitute.
It's a highly incendiary word. And
Okay.
it gets people...
What is the correct word? Inform us then on this show. What's the correct word?
I use the word call girls.
Call girl?
My girls were okay with
I like
that.
sex worker. It covers the whole spectrum.
Sex worker.
Of
I'm
people
more
in
honest.
And we'll be right back with our 3 famous madams.
Imagine a pillowy cushion of softness with every step you take.
Dr. Scholl's 2-layer air pillow insoles. 1 layer for shock, 1 for comfort. Dr. Scholl's. You'll feel better when the doctor is in.
Call the doctor, and Dr. Scholl's will send you a single air pillow insole free. Try it in 1 shoe and feel how much better the Dr. Scholl's foot feels. Call now, 1-800-772-FEET. Dr. Scholl's.
Deep down inside, we knew it could happen, but I think we're ready for it.
I think it's just we're a little scared. But I believe because of the length of time we've been together and because we know each other so well that we feel that we can face it and that we're prepared.
Can we look?
Shaking.
Oh, I knew it. Congratulations. You happy?
Mm-hmm.
You love discovering new friends. Your child will too with the Disney Watch Me Talk mirror. Baby talks.
Bye. What? That toy's talking.
And it talks back, helping baby learn to speak.
Hey, that's me talking.
Talk about magic.
Are you talking to me?
The Disney Watch Me Talk mirror designed by Mattel, making friends you can believe in.
Beauvais Homes in Fruitland continues its biggest Fleetwood sale ever.
That's right. Our 1992 Fleetwoods are virtually sold out. So we'll continue our sale with brand new 1993 models and offer huge savings to our customers. Save thousands on this Fleetwood Stonebridge with tape and textured walls, solid oak cabinets, and good sense insulation. Or pay $239.51 a month for this 1993 Fleetwood, specially discounted for this sale. Why Beauvais Homes in Fruitland? Terrific Fleetwood selection, unbeatable sales and service staff, and best of all, we'll save you money.
Looks like Diane's in for a big surprise when Mom visits Cheers.
If you're not married before tomorrow, I lose my share of your father's estate.
Oh, who's the lucky groom?
Sam, would you be willing to marry me?
This cologne must be doing its stuff.
Talk about your marriage of convenience.
If I feel anything romantic, I will run screaming from the room.
I will clear a path for you.
Next time on Cheers.
Tonight at 10:30 on KIVI, Channel 6.
We're back talking with 3 famous madams. Yes, go ahead.
Yes, I'd like to know, have the 3 of you lost respect from your families?
Oh, have you lost respect from your families? How are families? Does anyone have children?
I might say something. I was asked to do a show, and they wanted to have mothers on it. So I called my mother, and I said, Mom, how'd you like to do the blah, blah, blah show? She says, when shall I be there? My mother has known from the very beginning what I've done. I have brought her up to the ranch, and she said, Beverly, you are a good businesswoman. If that's what you choose to do with your life, I'm proud of anything you do. So that's how I feel about it. My mother does too.
I have a family, parents who have always for 20 years known what I was doing. Brothers and sisters. I have an 11-year-old son and a 24-year-old daughter. And both of my children have grown up knowing what I was doing. They are all very supportive, very much understand it's a business, and know that I have done a really good job of it, and are proud of that.
How about you, Karen?
My folks and most of my friends in San Diego thought I was still selling real estate. So I lived a double life, and after all this happened and I went to prison and it became so sensationalized in San Diego, unfortunately my family is very conservative and they're not very emotionally supportive now.
They're not. Okay. Yes.
I was just curious if Rebecca would want her daughter doing this.
Every single audience, someone asks that. I want to live in a world where every woman is free to make her own choice without being pressured in either direction. It's a very personal decision, and it should be hers, and I shouldn't influence it. As a matter of fact, she's a second-year law student, and that's what she wants to do.
Okay.
I support her whatever she chose to do.
Yes.
I'm curious to know what Karen's doing now that after you've gotten out of jail.
It's harder to come out of prison than it is to go in. And I've been trying to reconstruct my life. I lost everything, the condo, my car, my savings, and most of my friends. So it's been an adjustment coming out. But I'm writing a book. I have to tell the story from my standpoint because there was so much sensationalism and misconceptions in the newspaper. So I want to get that story straight.
Yeah.
Hi, I would like to know, what do the women get bonuses, say, around holiday time?
Not only do we get bonuses, we had, in the last 2 years, my business has been under intense attack from Ramsey County. And Karen was talking about the amount of money spent on her case. It's been done in mine, too. A 10-day wiretap, which is very expensive, kicking in doors at 6 in the morning when you're in bed, and pulling back the covers when you're, laying there sleeping, with guns to your head to search your house, and all of this has gone on. But before that time, we had a plan. If you worked 5 months, a 40-hour week for 5 months, and you didn't miss work and you weren't late, which for my employees is very difficult, but if you could do that, you were entitled to 1 year's paid tuition at any college or university that you could get admitted to for 1 year, or a 1-year lease on a new car, and a whole series of other kinds of benefits that were offered.
Can a customer ever get a refund?
Yes, you certainly can get a refund. I have a policy. When I train my employees, I don't teach them that their job is to make someone have an orgasm. Their job is to see to it that that customer is happy when he leaves. If they haven't done their job, they don't get paid. Any customer asks for a refund, no questions asked, he gets his money back.
What do most men ask for? Is there one thing that is very popular or anything? Or?
Yes, probably oral copulation.
Just like that, huh?
A lot of my clients liked massages. They liked to relax. They took an hour out of their busy schedule and they just wanted to kick back and relax.
The majority of our customers have sexual intercourse.
It is?
Yeah, about 90%.
Getting back to vacations, when a girl has been with me for a year, I'll get her a ticket to wherever she wants for a 2-week vacation.
Wow. This has been...
some far-off places.
It's been really very, very interesting. I thank you all very much for being here. Karen, I'm glad you're out. Rebecca, good luck with your situation you have to deal with. And Beverly, thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
And we will be right back.
For a transcript of today's show, please indicate show date and topic and send $4 to Jenny Jones Transcripts in care of Burrell's, Post Office Box 7, Livingston, New Jersey, 07039.
Reserve your seat now for the most exciting fall ever. HBO's 20th anniversary season. HBO special events, world premieres, world championship boxing. You'll also see over 50 top movies every month. And the most original entertainment on TV. Plus, get all the choice and variety of cable TV. And add Cinemax for the most movies on premium TV. Get installation for $19.95. $5 will be donated to Muscular Dystrophy Association on your behalf, so call now. You'll also get your first month of HBO or Cinemax free. Don't wait. Call now and get the best seats in the house. HBO. It could only happen here.
It takes more than technology or credentials to keep up with Boise's weather. It takes a real commitment, an attitude, and a team effort. That's why people are turning to Chris Houston and Newswatch 6. Newswatch 6 frequently places weather as the top story and leads the competition in devoting whole broadcasts to Boise's weather and to the drought. No other station can make that commitment as effectively as Newswatch 6. Chris Houston and Newswatch 6, working for you.
Right after Wheel of Fortune.
Now you have a choice at 6.
Hi, everybody. I'm Steve Buzalak.
And I'm Michael McQueen.
Say, Michael, where do you think the people here in the Treasure Valley can find the most comprehensive coverage of high school football?
Steve, I'll bet it's right here on Channel 6, and we're calling it Sports Plus.
That's because our viewers will not only see national and college sports, but they'll also be able to see our local high school athletes in action.
Now that is a plus. Don't miss it. Watch for Sports Plus Friday nights at 10 on Newswatch 6. Working for you.
Whether you make a mean batch of chili or just enjoy eating it, the 3rd Annual United Way Volunteer Connection Chili Cook-Off is just for you. The food, fun, and music get underway Saturday, September 12th at 11 a.m. at 8th Street Marketplace in Boise. Individuals and groups are encouraged to rustle up their favorite chili recipes in the hopes of winning cash, trophies, and prizes. And your taste buds can help choose the winners. For all the details, call 345-4357. It's the United Way Volunteer Connection Chili Cook-Off presented by KIVI Channel 6 and these sponsors.
On the next Jenny Jones.
Love in the 90s.
Things are changing.
The rules are not very clear right now.
How do you meet people?
I think singles bars are wrongly titled. I think they should be retitled the Unknown Marital Status Tavern.
And how do you know who you can trust?
How many partners have you had in the last 17 years?
Get it straight from singles out on the scene.
I don't think...
Men should take the blame all the time.
Watch the next Jenny Jones.
Well, we had a great show today. We had our madams on, including our Rolodex madam, who got caught by having all those names on her Rolodex. And keeping that in mind, it's time to end the show with something we like to do that is called Purse Check. Guess who it is? It's you. Do I have permission? Hold my microphone. You hold the mic.
Okay.
I have your. What's your name? What's your name?
Erica Hardy.
Erica? Erica? Is that your name? Okay, here's the deal. I got $100 right here in my hand. If you have something that relates to our show today, okay? Can I look in your purse?
Yes.
Okay, I promise I won't embarrass you too much. What's in the plastic bag? What is...
You have to say to believe.
What is... You have to... What is in here?
I broke my daughter.
You bought your daughter something?
No,
What did you
I broke it.
You broke something and you're...
And I went to Marshall Fields.
You went to Marshall Fields? The head's gone. It's a broken one of these with the head missing. Okay, I don't want to hear. That's all right. No, it's okay. It's not what I'm looking for. She wants to show me the head. Okay. I'll take a look at the head. Well, it's sort of in keeping with the show today, if you really think about it. Okay. Now, what else do you got? Let me look. Okay, you have some gloves, not what I'm looking for. You have a scarf. You have a hairbrush. You don't have what's in the bag. You don't have what I'm... Oh, donuts. Oh, food. Okay, you don't have... What I'm looking for is a little black book. Have you got one? A little black book, kind of like a Rolodex? No little black book. $100 cash, cold cash in your hand for a little black book. You don't have it? Okay, I have to go to the next person. First little black book I see, $100. Here, oh, there it is. All right. Let me see. Wait a minute. It's an electronic black book.
Numbers.
Oh, it is. It's a black book. It's got numbers. It's got numbers. You were great. Congratulations. You were all terrific. Thank you, everybody. Bye. Let me see that.
Accommodations provided by Hotel Intercontinental Chicago, ideally located on Michigan Avenue. Enjoy the distinguished services for which Intercontinental hotels are renowned worldwide. If you enjoyed today's show and want to attend a taping of Jenny Jones in Chicago, call 312-836-9485. Don't miss out. 312-836-9485.
Join Brett Scott and Melinda O'Malley for Good Morning Treasure Valley. They're working for you while you're getting ready for work. Weekdays at 6:30 on Channel 6.
This is a David Saltzman production in association with Telepictures Productions, distributed by Warner Brothers Domestic Television Distribution.